scallops, excuse me, tonight. And the first thing I'm going to do is start my rice because it takes it 20 minutes. And hopefully when the rice is done, we're going to be ready to plate and eat. We're going to start off with our rice. I am going to toast it because that's what I like to do the most. And so I am going to turn this eye on and get this warm. You're going to want it lightly toasted. So you want to be sure not burn it. This is a lemon garlic, a lemon, not garlic, lemon-infused olive oil. And so we're going to use it to toast our rice. If you toast your rice, I just think it makes it better. So that's what we're going to do. So you just put a little olive oil on the bottom. Let me grab me a spoon. And my rice is right here. And I'm going to cook a cup of rice. We're going to add some peas to it after we toast it. So, and you want to double the water, whatever you measured your rice with, you really should measure your water with. Because you want 2 times, this is just regular long grain rice, and you really want 2, the amount times 2 in water. So if you're using, whatever you're using, try to use the same thing to do your water with. So I think we'll go ahead and measure our water while we're waiting. Why not? La, 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 la. So I used 2 scoops, so I'll be using 4 scoops. Oh, actually, we're going to use beef broth. Chris had opened some beef stock. It's stock. I'm going to shake it, and we're going to use the beef stock because we had it open. I would typically use chicken, but because we just opened this the other day, I'm going to use it.
You could do half and half, I guess.
Oh, we'll use it.
Use it all.
You need to use what you got.
And this is Collar Valley Cooks for you that are just getting on.
So we're going to make some rice, and we're going to use this stock to make the rice. So we use the same measurement for our water or your liquid as you did for the rice. And if you toast your rice, I'm actually cooking something back here right now, but if you toast your rice, it just makes it, to me, it keeps it separated better, and then you don't have to try to rinse it. Everybody's got all these different methods, and they rinse it, and they rinse it, and they rinse it. And Chris doesn't like his rice mushy at all or anything like that. So really, I have found that if I toast the rice, it's just all around better. So that's what we do now. So you just, it takes a minute to do it, but it's worth it. So I've got it turned up. I'll turn it up a little higher. And as long as you're stirring it, it shouldn't get too brown. Now you don't want it to get too brown. And the reason we're toasting it mainly is to keep it pretty and fluffy and separated once it's done. And if you toast it, like I said, then you don't have to rinse it. I learned that from a YouTuber, and I can't even remember her name now. But
is it a Mexican?
It was, yeah.
Dish? Yeah. She did that.
Yeah. And she toasted her rice. And so I've just always done it ever since because it works really, really good.
Mm-hmm. You got your cousin Felicia on here.
Well, hey, Felicia. Good to hear from you today.
And a lot of the regulars already.
Yay. So the biggest thing you need to do, if you say, well, how much olive oil do I need to use? Just put some in there. It's not going to hurt it. And then you're going to stand here. I've got it turned up. So you really got to stir it. Because you don't want it to get too dark. And you can see the starch is on the side of this. It's starting to turn brown. All right. It's getting pretty hot.
You can kind of smell it too, can't you?
Yes. So once it gets golden like that, then you can add your stock. And I'm going to add just a little bit of salt to it too. Add our stock. We're going to turn it all the way down to low. Chris's phone's going to ring. All right. Now, I'm going to add my peas. And they're just little frozen petite green peas. Just something to make it good. We're going to put a lid on it. And it should be done in 20 minutes. All right. So that's all there is to that. And now what we're going to do is cut up some squash and we're going to steam it. So I'm going to get my pot right here. It's got a steamer basket with the pots that you order through our website. You've got this one on the bottom and you just put some water in it. And this is going to be for squash. Now we're just using what we had. I would like to have had something green, but I don't have anything green. So you use what you got. We're going to turn this on and let it start getting warm while we slice up our squash. This is our squash right here. And we're just going to steam it today. It'll make it pretty. And then we'll just put some butter in it, mix it up, salt and pepper, and that's all we're having in our squash. Simple. And I'm just cutting up 2 squash because it's just me and Chris eating. So it's going to be real easy. Oh, I didn't put onion in my doggone rice. Yeah, I'll add a little to the top of it. You don't want to stir it after you start cooking it, though.
Oh, okay.
But that's all right. I just used this for onion, so I'm going to use it again. We're going to put these in there. So it doesn't take long to make seared scallops at all. Y'all, the seared scallops today were $10.99. They were cheaper than buying beef. So I was like, I'm getting those scallops today. Oh, they look so good to me. So we're going to salt and pepper this.
You got them at Publix, didn't you?
No, I got them at Food Lion.
Oh, Food Lion. Okay.
Mm-hmm. They were $10.99 today. So we're just going to pepper and salt our squash. That's so simple. And then get a lid on it. Once it heats up and it starts to shimmy this lid like that, then we'll time it for 5 minutes and it'll be ready. Then we're going to add some butter to it before we eat. Okay. Now let's go ahead and add just a little bit of onion to this. I'll use this little, well, let me get my other knife. I don't want to use a lot of onion, just enough to flavor it. Now you could have used dehydrated onion in that if you wanted to. But the thing about dehydrated onion is it does use a little bit of your liquid. Just enough to flavor it some is all you need. And we're not going to mix it up. Okay? We're just going to put this on the top.
Oh, so you're not supposed to stir it?
No.
Okay.
Not once it starts to
Gotcha.
cook, not rice. And that's all there is to it. All there is to it. Now we're going to put our scallops in here. And the only thing we're going to put in here with our scallops is butter. Good old butter. We'll salt and pepper them. And Chris said he wanted me to use a little bit of seafood seasoning on his. I don't want any on mine because I love the way they taste, just like they are.
I tell you what, on mine, put a little of that Tony's. Well, no, it's hot, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, and it's strong, and scallops have such a good sweet flavor.
I want a little bit of this.
Their seafood seasoning is good. It's not overpowering.
Is it sweet kind of?
It's not sweet at all. You mean the...
I thought I used this before, and it was really good. What did I use it on? I used it on, I used it on that triple tail that time I cooked it. Yeah, it's good.
It's really good. And
Yeah,
it's not, it's not strong, and it's not, you know, overpowering or nothing.
Okay.
And we're not going to start these for another 5 minutes or so. So we're going to have some time to kill. So if y'all want to ask some questions, something y'all don't really get to do very much, you can. So
they had that fancy butter, buy one get one free at Publix.
Yeah, I told him, I said, what kind of butter did you buy?
Never used that kind of butter.
And he goes, well, it was buy one get one free, and it was before the storm came, and then he said there wasn't anything in stock hardly.
That's crazy.
So I'm going to salt and pepper these right quick. Now, this seafood seasoning, this Gourmet Collection seafood seasoning, it does not have salt in it. I like seasonings that don't have salt, because then you know how much to salt something, and a lot of seasonings are so salty that if you want to use a lot of it and get plenty of flavor on your food, then it makes your food real salty. So I like the seasonings that don't have salt in them. I think they're better. So let's see how many we got. 3, 6, and 5. I'll give you 6 and me 5. All right, that's good for now. And then the butter is salted too. I use salted butter. I'm a salted butter kind of girl. Now these are going to come to boil pretty quick. And once they do, we will set a timer on these. Okay. So, the only thing, and none of this is in the cookbook. I don't think I've got scallops. I don't think I've got this type of rice. Or I don't know if I've got steamed squash, but I mean, all you do is steam it. It's pretty simple. Salt and pepper it. And then once it's done, the cool thing about these baskets like this is you just pick it up and it's separated from the water, and you pour it in something, you toss it in some butter, and that's all you got to do. It's easy.
The only way you can mix it up is let the water boil out at the bottom, which
yes,
you have to watch.
Yeah. If you go take a nap, you might mess it up.
Okay. They're asking about your how your bruise is doing.
Sorry, Happy. My bruise is doing really good. It's getting better and healing. I don't like it. It really bothers me because it's on my face, and it makes me feel self-conscious when I go out in public, because I'm afraid that people are going to think I've got a mean husband or something. It does. It makes you feel weird when you go out in public, because I know people probably think, what happened to her face? You know. But anyway, so that part of it's no fun. Just know when you got something on you. We're actually making a video that we're going to post for you guys in a couple of days. It's Texas hash. It's back here in the back cooking. Normally, we bake it in the oven, but since it's summertime and it's hot, I told Chris I'm just going to simmer it on the stove and let it get done that way, because it'll be quicker, because it's rice, and rice gets done in 20 minutes on the stovetop. Really, by the time this is over, I didn't time this. I know. By the time that's over, let me just go ahead and put...
Well, we're on 14 minutes on the video.
Okay, so it probably took a good 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's probably...
So I'm going to set the kitchen timer for 12 minutes.
Okay.
Rice is something you really should time. So I should have hit that timer as soon as I started it. Let me move this. I'm trying to think if there's anything I need to talk about. Anybody got any questions? I'm not going to put these recipes probably up today because the scallops You just saute them in butter. You don't really need a recipe. The rice, I'm just using broth in it to cook it instead of water. And I do toast it, and I do have a recipe for toasted rice already in my fourth cookbook, I believe. And then, in other words, everything that we're making tonight is so simple, I don't really want to type out a recipe for it. So if you want to cook it again and you want to be refreshed on it, then you can always just go back and rewind the video and watch me make it before you make it. So,
have you decided about your cookbook yet?
Okay. I had a company that wants to sponsor us. And I would love to have them sponsor us. But I was supposed to be going to their business, their place of business, in October. And I have entered to try to be a contestant on MasterChef Duo. If we get picked,
with her and her brother,
with me and my brother, if we get picked, it conflicts with the time that I would have went down and spent time with that company for the cookbook. So right now I'm kind of on hold until I find out if MasterChef calls us or not. And I didn't have my passport, so when I turned in my, I'm going to watch that now. I didn't have my passport, so when I turned in my application, I had to say I have applied for one, but I got it in the mail, so I may actually send another application and let them know I do have my passport, because it says that you could be in the United States or you could be overseas. You got to have a passport because they don't know for sure where you're going to be yet. So I'm excited about it. I know it'll be physical for me and hard, but I'm going to try my best to win if we get on there. So we'll just have to wait and see. Okay. So because of that, because it's a conflict, I can't tell you what's going to happen with the cookbooks at this point, because everything's kind of on hold until I find out if we're going to do that show. I would love to meet Gordon Ramsay, and I've always wanted to. I always said I would never do TV again unless it had something to do with him, and then I would. I know a lot of y'all like him and a lot of you don't, but let me just say I love him. Okay. And I think he's awesome. So I'm super excited to try to be on that show. And I know all y'all be rooting for us if we get on there.
It's fluffing up. The
hardest part about those shows, the hardest thing, because me and my brother and Chris actually went on a TV show back in 2018, and then it aired in 2019. And it's nothing like you think. Like you think sitting on your couch, oh, why didn't they do this? Or why I would do that? Or, you know, you have all these great ideas when you're sitting on the couch. But when you're there and you're being timed and you're in a kitchen that you absolutely know where nothing is, nothing, it's not like being in your kitchen at home. Like if they gave me 30 minutes to cook something in here, I could do it like that. But when they put you in a place where nothing's familiar and the appliances aren't familiar, I mean, just even having a different stove can throw you off because the heat is different on them. So anyway, it's a lot harder than people think it is. And so we kind of learned that, didn't we, Chris?
Oh, yeah.
We learned real quick, like
when there's no microwave and when there's stuff that you're used to using, can openers and
right.
stuff.
You just
simple stuff that you don't think about.
Right. You just have no idea how hard it is to think on the fly when you're being timed and you're under pressure. It's way harder than you think. Way harder.
She took off the grocery video today because it was blurry.
Yes.
So it's gone.
I went to Food Line today and I went live, and I connected to the Food Line Wi-Fi, but their Wi-Fi wasn't good and it was really blurry and everybody was complaining. So I just put it on a private. So sorry about that, y'all. Now, if you're just tuning in, we are cooking, but we're just having a simple dinner and it's not taking that long to to do our scallops. We're going to sear some scallops tonight. I love seared scallops, and I like for them to be just right. I don't like them overcooked, and I don't like them undercooked. And so I'm picky about my scallops, and I'm picky about salmon when they cook my salmon. Matter of fact, I went to Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen in Vegas, and they served me salmon, and I sent it back. And so that ought to tell you that I'm pretty picky. But it was so dry and overdone, it was ridiculous.
But he wasn't there.
No.
Wasn't his fault.
If he had seen it, he would have pitched a fit.
He wouldn't have let him put it out.
Lord, no, he wouldn't have.
That looks about ready.
It's not quite ready.
It looks.
I know it looks ready, but it
looks good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think it is.
We got time to do our.
No, it's not ready. Okay. We got time to do what?
Is it scallop time?
Yep.
All right.
We're going to turn this on and get our scallops started. And then they should be ready about the time that everything else is. And while we're waiting on that to melt, I'm going to drain this, and I'll show you how simple it is. You just drain it. You take your squash and put it in the bottom. You can be noisy if you want to. Like that. And now I'm just going to slice some.
That won't melt it.
Well, no, it won't. Sure. And now I'm just going to put some butter in it. And you just keep the lid handy. We'll put some butter in there. And then it's going to be a time to 2 pats of butter. And then we'll mix it up before we eat. Okay? Here we go.
We don't need to turn on this fan, do we?
I shouldn't have to. No, not for these. But, I mean, you can if you want to.
Oh, I'm just...
Put it on low.
I just don't want the...
I want it to be hot.
I just don't want the alarm to go off again. We've done that a few times. I did it the other day, just making toast.
Yeah. Let's just go ahead and turn it on.
But the toaster is right under where the fire alarm is, so I guess that's probably not.
Yeah, it is. All right.
Here we go.
So get it good and hot. You want it hot. Now these scallops are dry. You want them to be dry. And you don't want them to be real cold out of the refrigerator. You want to get them out about 30 minutes prior to making them. And you want to get them nice and toasty brown. So I cook them up pretty high. Y'all know I like to cook on high anyway. I'm going to turn it down just a hair. These were put in there first.
That's yours.
Oh.
We're going to have these all mixed up. I guess they're all just going to taste a little bit like.
No. I'll keep yours over there and put mine over here.
Okay. That's pretty.
It's hotter on that side because that squash has been over there.
Yeah.
That's another thing is if I get to be on MasterChef, I'm hoping he'll have Hexclad to cook with. That stuff is nice. If you're just tuning in, we're having scallops tonight because they were $10.99 for all of these. And something we hardly ever get. Oh, turn that off over there, baby. Just turn it off. There you go. So we got them on sale. And see how they start to split like that? You want them to split. See how that's still, it's still transparent, or I forget what you call it. Anyway, it's still raw right there in the center. You can tell by looking at it. So you want them to be done, but you don't want them to be overdone. So you can pick them up and look at them. See how it's starting to split around the edges? That's what you want it to do.
They don't take long.
No. Boy, they smell so good.
And you can't just do a certain time because they're all, you know, different.
They're all a little bit different. So if you think one's getting too done, you can move it to the middle. I don't know why that one's not getting done right. A lot of people be like, "You getting them too done?" I'm not either.
No.
I promise I'm not. All right, they're about ready. There goes our timer. Timed that about right, didn't we? I think you had 6. This one's yours. Okay. There's Chris's. Here's mine. I'm going to pour that on our rice because it's good. It's butter and it's good. Here's our rice. And you can see how it makes it nice and separated when you toast it like that. And it gives it a really good flavor when it's toasted as well. See how pretty that rice is? All right, let's get over here and get us some rice. We're going to pour a little bit of that butter on top of it. We're going to toss that squash.
Were you going to do any lemon on your rice? Or do you?
We'll just do it when it's on the plate.
Okay. It's good. It looks good.
Rice.
Smells really good. Awesome.
Okay. Butter sauce from the scallops. I want some of those bits in it. Smells so good, y'all. I'll just put them on the scallops. You want some of this on your rice?
Sure.
That's just the scallop stuff that was on the, it'll be good mixed in that rice. All right. And now we're just going to toss our squash and get it on the plate. And I didn't have anything green, if you're wondering, you know, why we didn't make something green. And a lot of y'all probably would like your squash done mushier, but this is the way we like it. And when you steam it, you can cook it as long as you want to.
Mm-hmm. It looks real pretty when you steam it. That's the good thing about steaming.
Oh, yeah. And remember that all the butter that I use this is butter too. All the butter I use is salted. So I'm going to taste our dinner. Turn this off. Hope y'all have enjoyed watching. This one's mine, ain't it?
No.
This one is?
Yeah.
Okay. Here, we'll do this one. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's see if they're sweet. They're so good. They smell good. Just when I opened the package today.
Mm-hmm. Can't beat a good scallop.
I love them. They're my favorite seafood. And it's hard to find a restaurant that actually serves them. Rice. Very good, y'all. I don't want to get burnt by this squash. Let me just get a little bite. It's pretty hot right now. Delicious. It's delicious. That's all there is to it, y'all. I hope you've enjoyed watching. We're going to eat while it's good. Y'all, thanks for watching. Hit the like, thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you next time on Collard Valley Cooks, where we cook what's on sale from the grocery store. Bye, y'all. Love ya.